Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. So I've got the main man back on the channel, FABRIZIO Romano. FABRIZIO, how was your Christmas? How are you?
Hello, my friend. I'm positive to COVID, so it was not the best Christmas of my life, but we will fight. We will fight. I'm doing good. Luckily, I'm feeling good, so ready to answer your questions and happy to be here with this Italian Tottenham now with Paratici and Conte. I really love it.
Well, we're loving it as well, I can tell you that much. Now, let's start with Antonio Conte earlier on in the press conference confirmed that he has now completed his evaluation with this squad. He is now waiting for a meeting with Fabio Paratici, Steve Hitchen and Daniel Levy to discuss the squad and the January transfer window. FABRIZIO, how busy do you think that this January transfer window is going to be for Spurs?
I think it's going to be busy because, as Antonio said in press conference, they need to improve the team. They need to do something. So I'm curious to see about the timing because maybe he needs some weeks, some days to see how it will develop with some players. They are not 100% sure of what they want to do with some of the players into the team, if they want to sell them, if they want to loan them out or keep them. But I'm sure that they will do something. I expect Tottenham to do like 2 or 3 new signings, maybe 2, maybe 3. We will see. It depends on the opportunities. Market of January is always about the opportunities, so I can't be 100% sure because it's about the timing and the chances they have on the market. But yes, I see Tottenham working a lot on this one.
FABRIZIO, would it be fair to say that Tottenham would be targeting a striker, a creative midfielder and a centre-back?
Centre-back, I'm sure. They're looking for a centre-back, so they're working on this one. We will see who will be the player because, as you know so well, as I told you during the summer, Fabio Paratici always works on different names and then he jumps on the favorite one. So centre-back is the one I'm sure it's gonna happen. Talking about midfielder, yes, is a possibility, but it depends also on what happens with Dele Alli, because if we talk about Dele Alli 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was like close to 100% for him to leave the club, to find an opportunity on loan, to have his some game time in another club, but now it sounds completely different because now he's playing and the feeling with Conte is good. So we will see what happens with this Dele Alli story. And then for the striker, yes, they will look for a striker. They need another striker. So they're working on it since last summer. We have to see if they want to go with a solution, with a permanent solution, so with a big striker who could be part of the plans for the future, or with a solution for like 6 months and then jump in the summer a different target on a different name. So for the striker, it's about the strategy. For the centre-back, I'm sure that they will go for a player that could be ready for Antonio Conte ideas right now.
FABRIZIO, in this January transfer window, has Antonio Conte been given assurances that there is definitely money there to spend?
Yes, I'm sure it's not about how much they're going to spend. So as I know, Antonio and people around Tottenham, it's not like they told you we're going to spend 40 or 50 or 100 million euro. It's about we are going to do the best we can do for you and for your ideas. But yes, we are going to do something on the market. I'm sure about that also because if it wasn't like this, Antonio was not going on press conference today to say something like, okay, we want to improve the team and sign new players, and then it's not happening. So I'm sure that they will do it. They are together. I'm told that the atmosphere is great between the team, but also the people into the club, into the board, Fabio Paratici, Antonio Conte, Daniel Levy, of course. They have a fantastic, fantastic atmosphere now into the club. They feel that Antonio needs something else to bring Tottenham on another level. So I'm sure that in January they will do something. We will see what will be the process, if they will go for 2 or 3 new signings, but I'm sure that Tottenham will do something.
Well, I can tell you what, FABRIZIO, we've absolutely loved having Antonio Conte so far. It's been great. Main targets. Now, Dusan Vlahovic's name keeps coming up. We have seen reports, and you've rightly tweeted as well, 70 million euros. Is this a player that Tottenham Hotspur could possibly sign in January or indeed in the summer?
I think for January it's not going to be easy. This is my feeling. First of all, I see Tottenham as a serious possibility for him because Tottenham is a club that could be the right step for Dusan Vlahovic. He feels that, I'm sure that he feels that at the end of the season he needs to leave Fiorentina, and this is why he's not signing a new deal. But for January, he has a different feeling because he's doing great with Fiorentina, and so maybe the player is also, from what I'm told, thinking about staying at the club for 6 months, complete his Fiorentina season, bring Fiorentina back to European football, and then maybe leave Fiorentina in the summer. For Tottenham, I would say yes. I'm sure that they have interest in Vlahovic. I'm sure. So I'm sure that they are looking at it since a long time. Last summer, they wanted him. They are still monitoring him as a key player for the future. We will see for January because they want 70 million. And I'm sure that in January is not going to be easy. But for the summer, I will keep this name, not only for Tottenham, to be honest. So it's not decided yet, but for sure it's in Tottenham list.
2 other Serie A players that we keep being linked with, Frank Kessie and Weston McKennie. Any chance of them joining in January?
Yes, talking about Kessie, I don't see him leaving AC Milan in January too. He's out of contract in June, so I'm sure that Fabio Paratici is fantastic to work on free agents. At Juventus, he did something incredible for many, many years, like Paul Pogba, Andrea Pirlo, and many other players that he signed as free agents. So he's part of his knowledge of his kind of work. But for Frank Kessie, in January, I don't see it as a possible deal, also because he's leaving for the Africa Cup. And AC Milan need Frank Kessie to complete the season, and they're still hoping for him to extend the contract. But I'm sure that Tottenham are monitoring all the free agents opportunities. So for Frank Kessie, is something that we can consider for the summer and not for January. Talking about Weston McKennie, Tottenham were interested last summer in a loan deal. So they didn't want to spend 30 or 35 million for him, but only a loan deal with buy option from Juventus. Juventus said no. Fabio Paratici is the man who signed him from Schalke for Juventus. So the link is normal. But for January, I'm sure that Juventus will be open to sell McKennie only for big money. And when I say big money, I mean 30, 35 million and not on loan. And this is why for Tottenham, maybe it's not the perfect opportunity right now.
Fabrizio, centre-backs, Stefan de Vrij or Matthias de Ligt, any truth in those rumours?
I think these names are for something that you can dream for the summer, not for January. Matthijs de Ligt in January is not leaving Juventus, and I think it's going to be complicated also in the summer for Tottenham to sign Matthijs de Ligt. Talking about Stefan de Vrij is different situation. It's different because he's out of contract with Inter in 2023, and so it could be an opportunity if he's not extending the contract with Inter for Tottenham to jump into it next summer. But in January, I don't see him leaving Inter, to be honest. I think it's going to be super difficult also because Inter are doing great. Stefan de Vrij is a key player for Inter, so the connection with Antonio Conte, of course, is fantastic. But in January, I think it's going to be complicated. In January, it's more about opportunities for Tottenham, for players from not top clubs like Inter, because it's going to be, or Juventus, because it's going to be difficult to convince this player to change in January, but more on other countries maybe.
Fabrizio, do you see any Spurs players leaving in January? Because in the press conference today by Antonio Conte, he spoke quite kindly about Harry Winks, but didn't really talk very much about Tanguy Ndombele. Is that a player that you could see leaving? And as you mentioned, Dele Alli earlier.
Yes, they were looking for a solution for Ndombele at the end of the market in August. I still remember that they were trying with some deals with Spanish clubs. So they were trying to find a solution and they were not able to find the right one. So this is why he stayed. So I'm still convinced that they will look for a solution for Ndombele. For Dele Alli, as I told you, 2 weeks ago, he was close to open some talks to look for some opportunities on loan, and then everything changed. It reminds me of what happened with Christian Eriksen and Inter and Antonio Conte. When he joined the club, Eriksen was not playing because Antonio was not 100% convinced about his approach. But then in 2 weeks, everything changed, and he was a key player for Inter to win the league. So maybe with Dele Alli could be the same. Difficult in the first 2 or 3 months, and then now jumping as a starter. So it could be this kind of situation. They will decide soon. I'm curious to see what happens with Bergwijn too, because this player was also in the list to leave the club, with Sevilla among interested clubs, Ajax interested in Bergwijn. But let's see now what happens after his injury, because he's now injured, and then when he will come back, they will decide about him. And Doherty. I see him as a player who is prepared to leave Tottenham in January. So they're looking for a solution, and selling players in January will be so important for Tottenham to have new signings. So how many new signings Tottenham will have, it also depends on outgoings, of course.
Fabrizio, I've got a whole list of names here. I just want you to give me a yes, maybe, or a no, whether Tottenham Hotspur could possibly sign any of these players, because all of these players have been linked to Spurs in the last couple of months, through the media. Dean Henderson?
At the moment, is not a priority because he wants to play. And with Hugo Lloris in January, nothing is going to happen.
Gareth Bale coming back?
At the moment, there is absolutely nothing. In the summer, he will decide about his future.
Adama Traore?
Super appreciated by Fabio Paratici. Super appreciated by Antonio Conte. So it's a name I would monitor. I don't know if in January we'll be able to leave Wolves, but I'm sure that he's a name in the list of Tottenham.
Dejan Kulusevski?
He's appreciated by Fabio Paratici. He signed him at Juventus, but in January is exactly the same situation of Weston McKennie. You have to pay real money, 30, 35 million, or Juventus are not allowing him to leave. So let's see. I will keep an eye on Kulusevski more than on McKennie.
Kieran Trippier?
I see Newcastle favorite to sign him at the moment.
Jesse Lingard?
For Jesse Lingard, he had an approach from Newcastle, not from Tottenham as of now, but he still wants to fight for Manchester United and then see what happens for his free agent contract. So I think at the moment it's not something advanced or serious for Spurs.
Anthony Martial?
At the moment, no. At the moment, there are no contacts. Sevilla are in contact with Man United, but it's not agreed yet. With Tottenham, there are no contacts ongoing. But let's see, because when we talk about opportunities, and Martial is a big opportunity on the market, never say never, but at the moment there is nothing advanced.
And lastly, two Barcelona stars, Coutinho and Dembele.
At the moment with Coutinho, there is nothing going on with Tottenham, also because the way they play, I don't see Antonio Conte playing with Coutinho. He's not kind of Antonio Conte player. This is my personal opinion. And for Dembele, I think he's a name that Paratici monitored when he was at Juventus. So let's see, but he's asking for big money. He's asking for big money for salary, for the agent, for the player signing fee. So it's not an easy one, but Premier League clubs are moving on him. So I will keep an eye on him at the end of the season.
Fabrizio, thanks so much for your time. And before you do go, your club Watford are playing my club Tottenham in just a couple of days' time. What's your score prediction?
I see Tottenham winning, but you know, I'm Watford fan, but I really love Antonio Conte, to be honest. You know how many times I told you here on the channel, Antonio Conte is my favorite manager, and now I'm happy you can feel my same thoughts on him, the energy he has. I am super Antonio Conte fan wherever he will go, and so I see Tottenham winning. I'm sorry for my Watford. It's not an easy moment for us, but Tottenham are doing great, and I'm sure Antonio will do fantastic for the club. So enjoy this fantastic manager.
Well, let's hope the trophies are coming very soon, Fabrizio. Thanks so much for joining us, and hopefully you can come back on the channel in a week or two's time.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.